Actually, Venom is good against heroes
It's
that
very annoying
deal
playing
daggers.
Shaker
Yeah.
into Venomancer, yeah. But yeah, it's a 5 Veno, so what do you guys think this hero brings as a support to the table?
Nothing. I hate Veno. Shit hero, don't pick it.
Fair enough.
I like the Venom because of what I just said right now. You can cancel the dagger.
Tempests turn to ban.
Alright, that's a good pick against Channel Monster.
Yeah.
Um,
Why is that, Sherlock?
Playing against Terrorblade, you want burst damage, so he can't Sunder. And, well, it's a Venom Monster. You don't have burst damage.
10 seconds remaining.
You need burst damage, something like...
5 seconds remaining.
I was gonna say Morphling is pretty decent against Terrorblade, and Shaker. I think Morphling is it's a hero here for Alliance.
You guys
pretty
think
sure it's
Draw
gonna be
Ranger is
banned.
going through? I think it's a
Yeah,
good
also
draw
Draw
game.
Ranger. Yeah, why not?
Draw seems decent. They could also still pick Void, but they don't have a lot of synergy with him.
Yeah,
Dude.
I think they're gonna ban Morphling. Morphling and Draw, probably.
I like the Void suggestion because we've seen Alliance bring the Lumiere Void without synergy before, right? They just bet on it, and I think they won the Void game we watched. So yeah, Ursa banned. Now either Void or Drow goes through.
I mean, like, I think Terrorblade is good against Faceless Void when you have no damage inside the Chrono.
5
Terrorblade
seconds
has
remaining.
so much armor, so many armor, and he doesn't care about Faceless Void, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless you have damage on Chrono. So yeah.
Yeah, the thing is,
can-
Faceless Void hits with magic damage too, right? He goes Maelstrom and Time Lock. He doesn't care about Terror
Yeah.
armor.
Turn to ban.
That's a little bit. But Shaker is quite good against Void too. Because if you place the Fisher right, it's really annoying to deal with. I feel like the Drow is probably more likely than the Void.
Yeah.
I think she's getting banned here.
10 seconds remaining.
Ju-
They're taking their time though. They're not sure.
5 seconds remaining.
I still think Morphling is a hero here for Alliance.
Oh, okay, what about the
If they
Slark,
don't-
guys? Is it a good Slark game?
Meh.
I don't like it that much. I feel like if you have a Slark, you have absolutely no burst damage in the team, and the enemy just buys 2 forces, and you can no longer kill anyone.
And actually, beastcoast already has like 2 AoE stuns, right? They have Shaker and then Mars. Alright, Draw is banned, so Morphling. Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
No
Okay.
Draw. Morphling.
No hesitation to just go Morph. Lumiere
I
is
like
confident
Morphling.
after the game 1.
Is this a Mars offlaner or mid laner?
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure if they have decided yet. Because they can
Yeah.
do either one of them. It's gonna be against a Pongo most likely. So I guess Mars is decent. But Mars offlane is also decent against Morphling. So I'm not sure.
I think the question here is, can you guys think of a good offlane hero to go against Morphling? So if so, you put the Mars mid and pick an offlaner against Morph, but what is that hero?
I like OG actually, but not as an offlaner, but as a mid laner, you just play the Mars offlaner, and then you pick OG mid. I think it's fine. Pretty decent
Yeah, that seems
lane
nice,
against
actually.
Bango. I mean, it's bad against Rubik. It's pretty hard actually playing OG against Rubik. Yeah.
You may now
Oh,
select your heroes.
Okay. Morphin doesn't care at all about Timber Soul.
Okay, I'm confused. I'm not decided if it's an offlane Timber or a mid Timber.
It's offlaner Timber Soul.
I think so. Secret has played it already.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So-
I'm going with Alliance actually.
2-0? 2-0 Wingblade?
2-0, yeah.
Okay,
But,
I like
uh,
the confidence.
I'm pretty sure we cursed it already, but yeah.
The curse is only real if you think about it, Sherlock. So let's go to our game number 2 with Ares and Danog. Take it over, guys.
Thank you, Lil, and the panel. Here we go, Danog. We heard what the panel was mentioning, and Wingblade as well. Some strong words about the Venomancer, Danog. I know you've got something to say about a position 5 Venomancer, don't you?
You know, 13 win streak doesn't lie. That's all I gotta say. It is a great pick at all stages of the game. Bring it back. I want to see the buffs. I'm just waiting for this Div 1 to end so that we can maybe see a few changes in the lead up to the Lima Major, as well as before some Div 2 action, which is looking to be just as exciting. But yeah, I'm interested to see that. I just want to call out, I think this is an excellent Terrorblade pick that came out for what Sherlock mentioned during the draft, just needing a little bit more burst damage than what they have to be able to deal with it. I feel like Morphling provides that, so it's a good counter. But also, it disincentivized heavily the picking of something like a Lifestealer, which would have been amazing for this game. So just with one pick, they're having a hero that can take towers, which they were lacking. They're having someone that can hit Pango while he's in the Rolling Thunder, so you actually have to emphasize going onto the Terrorblade, and you also have something that gets rid of that potential for the Lifestealer. So I think it's an amazing pick. Let's see if it works out for them, though, because I really do like this Morphling overall.
Regards to the last pick as well from Beast Coast going down this Timbersaw route, we've seen kind of the rise of this hero a little bit more overall through 201. I know in C, Mastros is playing a lot of the Timber as well, and to great success, but what are our thoughts on the Timber? Because this is against a Venomancer. Yes, it is a position 5 Veno. Would you like to see Gardic get a little bit more priority this game, like go into a Spirit Vessel and then higher levels in Poison Nova to try to deal with the Timber?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't feel like you're going to be stealing too much farm away from a Morphling, though, right? And Rubik isn't exactly one of these heroes that wants to sit back and not get farm. You need some kind of farm on Rubik to have the same level of effectiveness. You need that early Aghanim Shard and the like. But I was kind of surprised that they went down this Timbersaw route, if I'm being perfectly honest. I really wanted them to pick a Beastmaster on Beast Coast. It wasn't picked just yet. It would have given them that initiation that they need for the Morphling. It would have just buffed up the Terrorblade amazingly, and it would have provided so much vision for your existing Mars and Earthshakers to have a high level of impact once these team fights start to break out.
Yeah, because like the panel said, we do see kind of the issues with how they can start the fights on Beast Coast against his Venomancer. The ways to be able to counter out that Blink Dagger initiation is going to be very difficult for Schofield along with Dark Margot to deal with.
You know, as much as I love the Venomancer 5, I am just as big of a hater of Earthshaker in any role. I still feel like it doesn't do enough in the game, but I feel like if Beast Coast are going to win this game, it's heavily on Schofield, because another reason why I wanted that Beastmaster is it's one of those few heroes that were remaining in the pool that could have actually had an impact against this Pangolier, using the Primal Roar to hold him in place to actually enable K1 to, in the Metamorphosis, kill him. But considering they don't have any kind of BKB piercing disable, it's going to be on Schofield to get the perfect positioning on these fishes to disrupt the effectiveness of the Pango. Schofield might end up dying, though, as he goes for a little bit of a career snipe. Should be forced to TP out. Looks like he will.
Has to go all the way back to base, though, so won't have the Earthshaker for too long, but not that the Timbersaw needs any assistance. This is that perfect kind of lane combo that we see with the Timber, where this is a hero that doesn't need a whole lot of help, and that can enable the Earthshaker to be a little bit more proactive across the map to maybe help mid or bottom lane.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a dual range lane, right? And, you know, the Veno has one of the weakest right-clicks in the entire game, so I don't think Gardic is going to be, you know, right-click harassing him too much. The Plague Wards aren't going to be super effective, so I really want to see him get 2, maybe even 3 points in the Venomous Gale, if I'm perfectly honest, and maybe a few more points in the Poison Sting, as opposed to the Plague Wards.
How's this mid lane shaping up at the moment? Does look like Analog and Dark Margot off to a pretty good start between the two. We're not expecting this to be kind of favored for anyone?
Nah, I think they're just going to trade farm at the very beginning. Dark Margot's had a much better start than he did last time, though. So that's always a positive to be able to go back to. I'm also just thinking, with this Broodmother starting out the entire draft, do you feel like outside of the Mars they have anything that's going to be able to deal with these spiders? Because I don't. You know, TV is very single target focused. Timber, I guess, a little bit. Mars, to some extent, but Shaker, Silencer, they do not deal with this split push at all. They had plenty of time to be able to balance the draft around it. I know everyone sees an Earthshaker and the amazing, like, Blink Echo onto 50 million spiders and then everything just explodes, but that is pretty rare that it's actually going to happen in a competitive game.
It is, but I think the nice thing is Beast Coast, they do have two heroes, like the Timber and the Mars. You can put these heroes in front of the tower the Brood's trying to play with. The Timber's going to be able to kind of join the team as well very easily, or the Blink on the Mars. So they can kind of close the distance and rejoin if required across the map. But I guess we even have to ask, like, do Alliance have heroes that can play with the Broodmother when she's looking to get active early on to take towers? Because we know often that the Broods kind of like just to play by themselves, occupy the enemy's jungle, and then kind of the rest of the team will create a void on the opposite side of the map. But do we feel like Alliance have the members to kind of help out Vitali early?
I don't think I even necessarily need to. I feel like Vitali's job is just to create enough pressure with, again, TB, Silencer, and Earthshaker all not really being able to deal with it at all once he reaches level 6 and gets the spiders, and force either Timbersaw or Mars to TP down to his lane. And as soon as that happens, then the rest of the team can just look to take a team fight, because Timber and Mars are a huge portion of the early damage that you've got on Beast Coast.
Or maybe that potential, then a lot of it's going to come down to the power runes as well. Get something lucky on Dark Margot. Maybe you don't even need to TP down.
Yoloko just looking to trade with Stinger for right now. He's got plenty of mangoes though on Stinger, so he has to be a little bit careful. Rubik obviously not quite as capable of trading with the Silencer as the Silencer is happy to.
Starting to see
Able to snag a bounty rune as well, Theolacor, but he's looking to prioritize the power rune a little bit more. Obviously, giving Analog the best game possible. Lift into Yoink. Very nicely done.
easy yoink. Margot, is he going to be in trouble?
Body blocks.
Scofield's nearby. Fissure, not even going to be required. So a lot of damage onto the Mars, and they do also get that water rune onto Analog as well. So Dark Margot, he's got some tangos to work with nonetheless.
Schofield was forced to
Lane,
pick up the
Vitali
water rune
actually
at top.
trying to duck into the tree line, but K1 will be able to get a little bit of vision afterwards and secure first blood for Beast Coast. So a much better start in this game too.
It's one of the advantages of the reflection, right? With the Terrorblade in the lane against the Broodmother. You can run through the trees all you want, but you're still going to kind of have that vision onto you. So really like the recognition of the fact that, look, Rubik's gone to influence the power runes. Let's try and get that first blood, and it's K1 that gets it as well. Not even just a cheeky support stealing it from him.
Stinger might be in a little bit of trouble. Vitali looking to try and move on full. Theolacor's taking a lot of damage, so just going to sacrifice his own life to help Vitali get a kill as well.
Even just dying slightly before as well, so Vitali got all of that experience for himself, and any chance that he can get to be bringing himself closer to that level 6 as quickly as possible, he's going to take that with both hands. What's happening up top here? Lumiere's target of a little bit of focus right now. Schofield, again, still just level 1 on the Earthshaker. It's not the easiest lane to have to play into. Venomancer's basically able to bully you out at all stages of this laning phase, and you know it doesn't get too much easier once the teamfights start to break out. Plague Wards placed in good positions just mean that you're very rarely going to get that Blink Dagger off.
This is a really important timing for Beast Coast up top. Sacred's about to hit level 6. They've got the catapult as well, so this is that opportunity for them to get a little bit of damage on the tower, maybe even blow up Lumiere. Just got the Adjurit shift off. We will see this tower start to take a lot of damage though. Sacred can look to try and keep that catapult alive, and Alliance gonna need to bring some more members to address this.
I was seeing what Dark Margot was getting up to, whether he would actually look to make his way up towards the top lane to try and influence that with the siege creep, but it feels like Sacred's going to do just enough on his own to be able to secure this tower for himself. Schofield again being very selfless, still not yet level 2 at 6.5 minutes.
They will lose the catapult though, so oh no, Sacred is able to re-aggro the tower. Will stay in range. No! Oh no.
I wonder if they could even consider the offensive whip. I guess not against a Broodmother who, you know, again, is having a fairly decent start to the game. Just about to hit level 6 of his own. now this really does feel like a little bit of a no-go zone for
Yeah.
the Silencer. As soon as that level 6 happens, you see Stinger go, I'm out. Screw this. I'm going home.
Yeah, even K1 wants nothing to do with this bottom lane. This is a big thing about them killing the catapult. Now Sacred doesn't take this top tower early on. They will get the kill onto Gardic, so Venomancer's going to go down. But if Beast Coast were able to find the top tower before Alliance started their assault down bottom, then the Timbersaw could have TP'd down and acted as that defender. But now Alliance going to be able to trade towers, so some nice sequence of events for Dial.
He is a little low on mana on Sacred, I suppose, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but yeah, I mean, obviously they would have loved to get a clean, not tower trade, just a tower advantage against them, and, well, 1 for 1, I'd say you're much happier if you're Alliance, just considering how much work a Broodmother is able to do, basically sealing off an entire third of the map on his own.
What do we want to see out of this first use of the arena from Dark Margot?
I mean, the ideal situation would be to kill the Broodmother, of course, just to prevent a lot of that pressure going in onto you, but, you know, something against the Panga would be quite effective. Again, I do feel like there is a heavy lack of damage, and it's not exactly like Dark Margot and Timbersaw want to be playing too much together, so maybe they're going to wait until Silencer just gets, like, a couple more levels, gets into the global silence, perhaps, so that if you go on the Pangolier, you're not just going to be able to swashbuckle away afterwards.
This is Stinger's helping K1 last it inside the jungle, so I'm trying to get a little bit more experience, and they've got that tome coming out in about minute 30 as well, so we'll see once they get their ultimates on Beast Coast ready to go. But again, this is a much better start to this game than what we saw prior. I mean, already at this stage, where it was like a 3,000 net worth lead for Alliance.
Yeah, Lumiere only just picking up the power treads now, sitting at the bottom of all of the cores in the game, so certainly not having the amazing start that he had previously. Still a great Morphling pick, but he's going to need to get his farm on if he's going to be able to deal with this Terrorblade as K1 just does K1 things. Farming, farming, farming.
Having a lovely time here over at the Triangle. Already got that Yasha completed, and I see Morphling doesn't have this capability at this stage with how his laning stage went to be able to farm at the Ancient, so K1's going to continue to build up that golden experience lead, and this is a game where you mentioned, I mean, they might have some difficulties with dealing with this Terrorblade.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a question of who is going to have more difficulty or who takes advantage of their strong points in the game, right? Are Alliance going to be able to play around the fact that this Broodmother had a pretty decent start to the game, has those early levels, and is able to put a ton of pressure on with Beast Coast heroes that can't do much against it? Or is it going to be the case of, alright, it gets a little bit later, K1 gets into his second item, and then it really becomes a matter of how do you kill this Terrorblade before he kills your entire team?
Actually, Dark Margot's able to hit the board top lane as well. Fissure into the block from Sacred. Lumiere wasn't ready for the Earthshaker to be nearby, and all big kills across the map for Beast Coast.
They're actually giving the tome over to the Earthshaker as well, wanting to get up onto that level 6 as quickly as possible. It's going to be quite some time until he gets into the Blink Dagger, so it won't be any crazy Blink Echo reveal, but I suppose with Silencer just being given this bottom lane, obviously realizing that someone's going to need to push this out, otherwise Broodmother's going to take the tower for free. Stinger's going to be able to get the level 6 on his own, so Beast Coast, they've got a little bit of a timing here, especially once in about 40 or so seconds when that Arena of Blood's back online. The Tumbler's toy as well on Dark Margot, so provides him with that little bit of gap close. Oh, even a Blink Dagger too.
Yeah, very early Blink pickup.
It's going to need to stay hidden though, and well, it's not the greatest feeling to have to stay hidden for another 20, 30 seconds when you want to be farming.
We'll look to try and enter the river. He'll close the initial target. And look, those going to play around with the Rolling Thunder as well. They'll get the kill onto the Rubik, but the response is there. But Tali's even going to look to rotate as well, so the damage is enough to bring down the Mars. Nicely done. A 1-for-1, a big kill onto Dark Margot. Not the greatest reveal of the Blink.
There's just no trees for him to play with, man. That was the issue. I suppose the advantage of that is they didn't pop Global, they didn't pop Arena, so they've still got a really big impact for this next push, but they're not going to have the Siege Creep to be able to assist with that. So unless TB joins and Hector's still 30 or so seconds away from the meta, then I think they're still going to have a little bit of difficulty in taking this one down. Who knows? Maybe Sacred's going to be able to do it on his own.
Just going to send them
solo
back
kill
in.
on Theolicore, yeah.
Olga's going to look to jump aggressively. Great reactions out Analog. Even a global silence.
I'm not sure if that was the best option.
Uh-oh. I mean, that's multiple important abilities just completely wasted.
Oh, exploded!
What? Where did he go? Oh my lord, the Echo just blew up the Morphling. He does still go down. Now they're going to try and chase down Sacred as well. This is not an easy kill at all for Alliance to find. The Diffusal Blade's going to help out a lot. The Sacred able to get some distance with the Timber Chain. Analog still playing around with the Rolling Thunder as well. It's going to be able to bounce back off the wall if required, and not even as Alliance successfully defend the T1 tower, but that's really off the back of some misused ultimates there from Beast Coast.
Yeah, I think the arena, you went for it. He tried to get 2 just to be as perfect as possible, but then the global silence afterwards. You know, maybe the eyes weren't quite on the team fight by Stinger there, and it ends up costing them quite heavily. I wonder if they can even potentially look to make a bit of a push happen of their own.
Even gonna feed away another life? Margot just able to get back to the safety of the T1 towers. I guess the one silver lining for Beast Coast is that you do have K1 still getting an incredible amount of farm across the map.
Oh, yeah. You can see he's already got the Manta style going into the Skadi, which is going to be amazing against not just the Morphling, but also really solid against the Broodmother, just to protect a little bit of that slipperiness, I suppose you could say, that she's able to get. Of course, if you're man fighting as well, the Insatiable Hunger, not going to be quite as effective, but it's really the BKB. I think that's when K1's wanting to get super active, so it's still quite some time.
All right, Alliance, let's see what they can get out of the smoke. Vitali.
They know there's no global for a little bit. They want to try and catch someone as quickly as possible.
Who's that target going to be, though? Analog. Has the Rolling Thunder Diffusal Blade to work with the smoke on smoke. Does get popped on the low ground, though. Unable to get the ultimate off before the spear. They have the damage to bring down with the Painkiller. Unable to play with the Rolling Thunder thanks to Stinger's silence, but they don't have the damage as Analog finally gets the ultimate. Will be able to step out to the right side. Now, do they have the damage for Sacred? And with the hood popped, he's going to be okay. Sacred still looking to charge into the middle. And Alliance have to go back the opposite direction. Sacred should be able to get the kill onto Gardic. They're making it work for it, though. Lacking the mana onto the Timber Saw, and Lumiere shows up from nowhere with the Morphling able to blow up the Timber. And again, another skirmish favoring Alliance.
Another skirmish favoring Alliance, and another game in South American Dota that shows why Rubik is so highly prioritized. The of course, playing an amazing game so far. Multiple steals of the Chakram, providing that extra little bit of damage to the Timber Saw that forces him to pop that hood super early, so that it means that's the sort of team fight that a Morphling, right? Not even a team fight. He just wants to clean up, and that's exactly what he did.
Mid lane, Theolacor, but Schofield instantly in again. 2 heroes just evaporated with the Echo Slam. This time, it's a support, but it does keep K1 alive along with securing the tier 1 tower.
And that's actually a much bigger deal, taking that tower, than you would expect, because just have a look at the Venomancer's build. He has gone full into the Plague Ward, so he really wants to... His job is to seal off an area, basically, and, I mean, considering they haven't been able to do that, they've already taken the mid-tier 1 tower, you'd have to say that this is... a little bit of a, I don't know what the right word is, misplay or missed opportunity, I guess you could say, to be able to get one of the biggest advantages of this hero in just completely stopping an area of the map from being approachable. Broodmother does that, Venomancer does that amazingly, but it just hasn't been quite so effective.
See, Alliance, they have their own capability, though, to take this early tower. With the Catapult and the Spiderlings, just letting them do the work and sitting off to the side. Making sure they don't put themselves in a compromised position. So the tower down to half health, but Beast Coast will bring a couple of members to be able to protect it.
Yeah, they're not feeling too good about fighting into K1 just yet. He is looking like a pretty tanky boy for right now, and he's only going to get bigger and bigger, picking up the double damage rune. Still 50 seconds away from the meta, so not going to be able to take any huge objectives, like Roshan, for example. Really, the big thing that they're looking for is getting Dark Margo into this BKB so that he can look to be that frontline, to commit into these team fights and force them to focus on him.
Still needs a little bit of gold here for the Mars, trying to get that farm down to the bottom side. We have another creep wave coming through, so see once he's able to find that BKB, how much easier it is going to be for him to initiate and then potentially survive as well. They are showing in the lane though, Lumiere. What she can do.
The
Lane,
mechanism.
actually, Sacred. Half of his health gone to start. Analog's now rolling Thunder into the middle as well, but the Global Silence going to be able to cover the Timber, and now Dark Margot in with the arena, but the damage is lacking. They won't have the follow-up to bring down any members. Again, multiple ultimates, and they don't get any kills out of it. So Alliance, they're going to look to try and reset and go once again.
Oh, Schofield's 10 seconds away from the Echo, though, so it really does depend heavily on his positioning.
Dark
You can see
Margot.
a few of them right now.
Hang on, he's in trouble, Lumiere. He's going to waveform in with the finishing blow, and now Alliance, they're wrapping around as K1 pops the meta, but they can just avoid the Terror Blade. They need the stuns to enable K1 to right-click, but look at them. Alliance
Nice dodge.
just continuing to play their distance to Sacred. He's going to look to charge into the middle, but he too will be blown up as Beast Coast just unable to take the team fight as Alliance continuing to have their number in this game too.
I mean, yeah, that was all on Analog, that team fight, right? Great use of the Rolling Thunder to be able to not only hinder Timbersaw's impact in that team fight, force him to run away as opposed to running at you, but also just preventing a lot of the impact of that Arena of Blood, right? You dropped multiple big ultimates, and Dark Margot just stayed in the area. Is this going to be a kill onto Stinger? I don't think so.
See, we've spoken a lot about K1 trying to find his farm across the map. So we see back of that fight, I mean, he felt strong enough to be able to enter, but the Terrorblade, they just did such an incredible job to be able to play their distance against him.
And you could tell that the comms all around this is, look, fight around where we know they don't have any vision. You can see a ton of sentries dropped on the ground right now. So they know that they're in a safe spot, and they knew that that Echo Slam was not going to be coming. Even after the fact, they were sending some spiders just to make sure to cancel that Blink Dagger. So really nicely done there by Alliance.
Schofield finds an opening. He's going to pounce on that instantly. So Schofield getting some pretty big ultimates out this game.
He's playing damn well. He's nearly gotten to the shard as well, only 200 gold away. Question is, though, what else can they do with this? They've taken out probably the biggest part of Alliance's team fight by far, so they're just going to look to play as aggressively as possible.
See if Margaret can find the opening, but you see how difficult it is.
Stingers might need to get denied here. Yeah, see you later. Swings the totem on Schofield, cleans him up.
Radiant's bottom tower is
The advantage of a Venomancer though, right? Like we were saying before, they just seal off all of these portions of the map that you can go to. You know you can't push bot, Natali's there. You can't push mid, Venomancer's blocking that. Top was the only place that you could realistically be, and K1 was doing that with his illusions, but they don't get any big objective off the back of that outside of K1 continuing to farm.
The top tower is actually taking a respectable amount of damage here. Under half here with Alliance's Tier 2 tower up top. So we'll see if you can continue to put that pressure on with the Terrorblade illusions.
Yeah, that's TB for you. As they go for a 4-man smoke on Alliance, they're trying to find out this Terrorblade. They feel like they've got enough damage now to be able to take him out. Of course, the mana burn from the Diffusal Blade, that's going to go through the high armor on the TB. I'm still a little bit worried that Lumiere's not in a position to really join in onto this, though. I'm not sure they're going to have that burst potential that they require. So maybe it's a little bit of a preemptive smoke. Unless it's one just to drop down some vision, but, well, they have double Observer Warded on this in front of the Tier 1 tower, so a little bit of wasted vision.
No. You need confirmation of K1 being here. That's what it is.
Ah, true.
Ah, yes. It's the double ward classic. It gives them extra power as we're going to see Analog look to use it. Close to the tower. TPs are starting to come through. They're going to be able to protect him with the Global Silence, and our K1 wanting to try and turn it back around, but the Metamorphosis is activated. His guarding will get blown up, and Alliance are going to look to back off with that, just sacrificing the Venomancer.
I mean, K1, I don't want to say has to leave, but he can't continue to fight now. And again, they forced two pretty big cooldowns. No Global Silence, no Metamorphosis. He's got the Poison Nova on him, as well as the Venomous Gale. So unless he finds, like, the perfect Sung to target, which maybe he's even just going to sunder his own illusion, I really don't feel like they can look to continue to push on forward here. And Theolacor even going for the kill.
Alright. Oh, he's chasing. Hang on. Analog, does he go for it?
Of course he does.
They've got the Fade Bolt back up as well. K1, how quick is he on the fingers? He's quick enough, but Analog gets that last right click, and now that might open up the pit. Alliance starting to ping it out. They might need the Morphling, though.
We need the Morphling. There is no way that they're going to be able to take this solo, and I think even then, 30 seconds or so isn't going to be enough.
They're actually going to smoke up on Beast Coast, so maybe baiting the life of Sacred. They're ready with the Echo, ready with the Arena as well. Lumiere did just complete the Aghanim Scepter though, so if they don't blow up the Morphling, then he's going to be a threat in this fight.
They know exactly where they are though. Look at the vision by Alliance. All completely covering any kind of entrance towards the Roche pit. They really want to be able to pick this one up.
Send the spiders. Get him out. There you go. Age is claimed. Lumiere had a couple of deaths this game where he just got blown up without expecting it. That fissure from the fog and then the Echo Slam at that T1 fight. But he's doing a really good job to keep up with K1's farm, and well, he's going to be a big issue now in a lot of the fights. BKB is going to be worked on next.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's such an important spell for this, right? It's obviously you want to be using your waveform, and you can use it to get out of things like the Arena of Blood, for example, but if you could just save your BKB for that, walk on through after you've already committed, because that's the way that a Morphling wants to take these team fights, right? Follow up on a Pangolier initiation. It's at the level at this stage where you're not going to be able to just walk in on your own. It's off the back of someone else on your team setting up a kill, whether that be the Pango like we were mentioning, or Theolacor continuing to play a great game and maybe stealing the Fissure, for example.
And what can we hope out of Beast Coast here? Do we feel like they're in a position where they can fight into this Aegis advantage, or do they need to kite it?
Maybe now that you've got the BKB on K1, but he's still already 2 levels behind the Morphling, so it looks like they're just trying to get something in exchange, yeah.
Analog's going to start early with the Rolling Thunder. The follow-up soon going to be there as well, but a Global Silence will be able to cover Beast Coast. They can look to turn it around as the Echo. Schofield does it again, catching out too, but can they continue to take the team fight though? A lot was forced out early on as Analog, he's able to jump into the middle. They'll cancel the Earthshaker's TP, but they won't have the damage for Dark Margot. So in the end, Alliance, you lose the Aegis, you buy back on Vitali as well, so not the worst fight for Beast Coast.
Not the worst at all. I mean, come on. What more can this guy do?
I'm sorry.
Them on his back right now. That was an amazing Echo Slam. Once again, just always finding the perfect positioning, even despite the play wards they found.
Should be fine. Yeah, plenty of armor. Maybe Dark Margot's not going to be fine because Theolacor is here to be able to help out Lumiere. The combinations there, we're just mentioning Schofield and what he's done, but you've also brought up a lot about Theolacor and his Rubik this game.
I would be surprised if I see a second point in that Enchant Totem. It's just there to get the second point of the Aftershock or to utilize the Aghanim Shard once he gets into it, but Lumiere definitely does not need to be any more powerful than he is right now. He's almost about to hit that level 18 as well, so even more frequent morphs about to come through.
Alright, Mr. Danog, the ultimate question. I know this game's not over yet. Does Schofield get added to the list of players that can play the Earthshaker for you?
He was already part of it.
He was already part of
the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for anyone that's not aware, Danog is a absolute hater of an Earthshaker support, but there are a couple of players that he'll allow to play it. They're on the good list, and there's not many of them. Well, you've got a couple, right? Who are some of the players?
Seb's another one that's there. Chu as well. I believe it's Sladin as well from the old Tempest. Remember that?
Sladin Earthshaker at the TI qualifiers. Schofield. Ooh, gets out. All right.
He can even escape. Yeah. See, what I hate about most Earthshakers is that they just don't do anything. And you cannot say that Schofield hasn't done anything this game. You know, he was really behind in experience at the very start, but he manipulated the lanes. He made sure that you had a decent enough start on the Timbersaw, and then he went around, and every single time that he's used that Echo Slam, it's been to full effect.
Yeah, I think has been a main reason of why they're in this game, honestly. A lot of the Echo Slams in some of these fights could have been just catastrophic if he wasn't able to find the opening. And
I think they wouldn't have any tier 2 towers left. If
Ooh, Dark Margot.
Another missed Arena.
Yeah, the 4-star from Gardic just gets him over the cliff. Alright, able to back up. It was a Arcane Arena, I believe, as well, so not the longest cooldown. See them Oh, you got a Aether Lens now as well for the Earthshaker to help out with your initiation, but this game's starting to slow down a little bit. Are we expecting any timings to come out shortly for our next team fight?
Like Alliance want to get this pipe up on the Broodmother. That's going to go a long way towards stopping the damage coming through from the Timbersaw, from the Earthshaker as well. Why not, right? And even just making it so that you need to commit someone so much more heavily to stop the Brood push from happening. But seems like they're antsy. They want to fight right now.
They're ready to go. Lumiere's not a part of the smoke. He's going to look to rejoin the team. They've got a great ward. Scouting out Sacred at the moment. It's going to be up to Analog to find the initiation. Sting is a really big target if they can bring him down before the global silence, and they should be able to do so. He's got a buyback, can look to help out if required. Schofield again, in with the Echo, and they can turn to try and blow up Lumiere. Not enough protection out of the attribute shift, and Alliance forced to retreat, and Dark Margot's not going to let them. A jump into the river to chase down one. Schofield's got the vision, a lock-in Gardic as well. He'll try and TP out, but the spear is there fast enough from the Mars, as that's what we're waiting for on Beast Coast. 3-0 for them.
Dire's middle tower
What more can this man do this game? He is the MVP by miles this game, and not too great of a use of the glyph there either. Top lane is pushed in fairly heavily as well. They should be able to get this tier top side and really free themselves up to be able to secure that second Roshan once they take control over Alliance's junk.
Great use of the buyback into the global silence there as well from Stinger. We saw that opening from Schofield, and then the jump in, covering kind of the echo so K1 could get that damage in thanks to the global.
So, 2 tier 2 towers gone. Jungle controlled completely by Beast Coast. Can probably look to set himself up there if he wanted to. He's getting damn close towards that Skadi as well. If you get up into that level 20 as well, it just amplifies the issue. I do like how Analog's played most of this game. He had a really good start to that team fight, but just wasn't able to land the follow-up stuns that vented the big turnaround, and Lumiere just gone from 100 to 0.
I mean, that really is the ideal start though, right? Bringing down the silencer. Maybe if you get the Earthshaker afterwards as well, but all of a sudden then like a lot of the teamfight control is not going to be there for Beast Coast to play with it. The silencer and the Earthshaker are cut off at the start.
Yeah, I mean, Analog stunned everybody at the start. He got the Timber, but just on the rebound, he was just a little bit too fast, and so the stun was, kind of on that little cooldown time that he wasn't able to get the follow-up damage coming through.
These items now after that one team fight from Beast Coast really starting to come in. Dark Margot working the refresh already halfway. Timbersaw has a scepter on Sacred, so feeling like there's a little bit of lack of damage here, but also provides that burst to be able to blow up the Morphling. So Beast Coast 4,000 net worth lead, even though the kills are even.
are fortified.
I don't think Analog needs his level 18. It's a tiny little bit of luxury, not too big of an upgrade to the stun or the damage, but and a little bit of the cooldown as well. But I love all Pangos that go into this level 15 talent for the shield crash in ball, especially for this game, because you've got the Maelstrom, you've got the Basher coming soon, and you've got the so much damage that's going to deal a lot towards the team, the Saw in particular.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
See though from Beast Coast kind of huddling together around their own triangle, making sure that no one at this stage is going to be caught off guard.
Under attack.
Ready to go again. Any ultimates? Everything's at the ready for both sides. Radiant did have a war kind of scouting out Alliance starting to move towards the top side, so they do have some...
I'm surprised it hasn't been spotted out as well. Vitali's got a gem picked up, so they really want to just sweep and prep for this second Roshan. They realize that Beast Coast are probably feeling strong enough to be able to fight on this top side, considering they do have that advantage of not having any tier 2 towers for Alliance to TP into. So we'll see if he's lucky enough to just path on by it. Might have quickly got vision. Showing them everything right now. Yeah. You've got 5 people clumping around one area, which means there's 1, maybe 2 people farming. Beast Coast, with all this vision, they could just farm. So this net worth lead is going to grow and grow. Nearly getting into as well on Dark Margot. Hasn't hit the most amazing arenas so far, but what, easy.
very difficult when you're going up against a Morphling waveform BKB and Rolling Thunder for the Penguin to work with as well. See if he can target down some of the supports here with this team fight. Beast Coast looking to smoke. Vitaly's in such a great position to be able to pop the smoke. Up on this cliff, he's going to see Stinger running really aggressively. If they can kill the Silencer again, he doesn't have buyback, so he's going to force out the Global Silence early on. As Schofield jumps in with the Echo Slam, but a 1-for-1 to start. This is Alliance's fight to turn around as Lumiere. The Earthshaker replicate, the Fissure onto 3. No opportunity for K1 to get the Sunder off. They're going to put all their attention onto Sacred's Timbersaw, and there's nothing he can do to escape as Alliance able to hit back at a perfect timing as now they can claim Roshan.
And that is the team waiting for the entire time. So much work being done along there in terms of control, dealing by the most. It just wasn't able to get off the wand on the TB. Super late pop of the BKB, but of course, you want to get maximum value.
They see Dark Margo under this ward. Someone really to jump. Ooh.
I think Darnok's fine enough just to keep him pressured away. Just keep placing up those plague wards, get fleet vision. Use the Blink Dagger. Can they get anyone to TP? I guess
he's going to have to BKB.
I don't know if you even want to waste it.
Lanes
are fairly pushed.
Okay.
He's got the pressure.
Alright.
Your refresher BKB sort of play.
Alright, so gave the Axe Shard over to Lumiere. He's got the Aegis as well to work with, and Cheese is, I don't know where. I can't see the Cheese.
I don't know. Just what a stun. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Perfect triple stun landing in onto everything. Great follow-up by Analog with all of that magic. He has the basher now? No. He's still a little bit short, but once he picks that up, it's evil during all these team fights. For swashbuckle damage from reaching level 20 as well. Just perfect synergy coming through with the Aghanim Scepter. Even going to absorb shortly on Theology, so might even be able to get a Lotus onto himself, steal the Global Silence, and turn it right back around.
Oh, something that could be so huge in these fights. Potentially K1 not ready for it to be able to get the Sunder off. Or even the Earthshaker as well for him not being able to find an opening. So we'll see. Alliance, they're going to try and smoke his 5, looking to try and move inside the jungle. Scan does connect though, so a great read from Beast Coast. Schofield playing under the cover of the Shadow Amulet. This is scary. Detection? Anyone? Wait, K1's here. Hang on a second. K1's pinned up against the tree. We'll be able to pop the BKB and look to turn it back around. They'll kill off the Core. Can they get anything more out of this though? As Alliance, they feel content with taking the team fight as Lumiere straight on top of the Terrorblade with a chain control, preventing the Sunder. He won't have an opportunity to get that health back, but Dark Margo still looking to take the team fight with the damage fall from Sacred. 4 go down as Lumiere should be able to escape to the northern side. Dark Margo ready to chase. Blinking Spirit the ready. He's going to go for it. He will. They get the connection pinned up. The damage is going to be there from Sacred. Alliance, will they need to buy back to protect him on the respawn? There comes one out of Vitaly. And Lumiere will be okay.
Didn't even need to buy back in the end. I mean, maybe just feeling like the pipe and the Greaves was the big difference there. Being able to let him get away, but we're going to be able to even catch Schofield here. He's got the Shadow Amulet. He's not griefing, ladies and gentlemen. He is just there playing with his food.
He gets out as well. Alright, Beast Coast is looking very awkward. Saw that start, we're kind of running into the Shadow Amulet. They gave them the vision, but they weren't all grouped up at the moment. The Terrorblade got blown up as well, but that second use to the arena, the damage fought from Sacred as well. This that beautiful thing about the Scepter. This Timbersaw can scale, and I guess the question is, Danog, like, is this a concern heading into like the later stages here between both sides position 3? If we compare like the Broodmother and the Timber, do we feel like one's going to have more impact than the other as we go later and later?
I mean, of course, anytime that you've got two ultimates to use, especially two game-breaking ones like the Mars. Remember back when you and I were casting some C Dota all the way back in 2020 with Neon Esports, and we were talking about Masros earlier. He was like, look, you use the first one to pop the BKBs, and you use the second one to actually deal the impact in these team fights. So I feel like Dark Margo is going to have the edge there. I'm calling Dark Margo the offlaner just because I'm used to seeing Mars like that, but it kind of does feel like Sacred's playing a little bit of that mid role, right? Dark Margo hasn't gone the damage build. He's very much the utility, playing offlane from the mid lane.
So that utility is going to be further enabled here with this Hexel being worked on for the Mars. That will give them the big opening to be able to catch out Lumiere. And of course, nothing you can do with that Aghanim shot as well against the Hex.
It's almost got the Satanic though, which would be huge. Just got to provide a little bit more protection over onto Lumiere.
I mean, some trouble. No hesitation with the jump in. Metamorphosis will be activated, however. Let's see if they can get anything out of this on Beast Coast.
Poor guy. 2 seconds, 100-0 on that Venomancer, even with a Lotus Orb, so plenty of armor. Doesn't do too much against the Timbersaw, unfortunately. Alright, Satanic picked up, though, by Lumiere. It's all about just letting him survive that initial burst, right? So that he can get off the Aghanim Scepter replicate, so that you're able to get into that Earthshaker, so you can get a little bit more of the status resistance for yourself, and then he's already got a Paladin Sword, amplify that up with the Satanic. A lot of these heroes can melt very easily on Beast Coast.
Yep. It's a nice neutral item, so for Beast Coast to play with. Spell Prism was just picked up. Who did they actually give that over to? I thought the Timber might take that, but Timber's actually holding the Havoc Hammer at the moment, so...
No one grab it?
Yeah, what's actually going on?
Yeah, no one's got it. Telescope as well, sitting back in the base. You know what? If Schofield says he needs the Tumbler's toy, I'm all for it.
Who are we to doubt this man?
Mm-hmm. He's even going a little bit more into that. Okay, he got a second point in the enchant totem. Maybe just saying, look, he's never going to replicate into me, guys. It's never going to happen. I'm just going to blow him up before he even gets to
Alright. Yeah, that extra damage from the second point enchant totem, that's what he wants. Just to help blow him up. He's going to solo kill Lumiere. Nothing to fear. Nothing to fear, guys. Come on, look what I've done. We're in this position because of me. A little bit. Mainly, but the rest of the boys...
No, you're right. They're completely in this position.
Yeah, but I felt bad, you know. Everyone else had a pretty good game as well. Individual
First
poets.
15 minutes, not so much.
Lumiere should be chilling. Enter off the Sans. Instant smoke from Alliance just so they could close the distance fast enough if the rest of Beast Coast were there on that opportunity to jump the Morphling as Dark Margo. First use of the arena does get stolen. They might be able to bring him down. He'll find an opportunity to play around with the BKB. They're going to see if they can catch out any other members, though. Mars will be able to escape to the northern side, but the Rubik will not be so fortunate. Back inside the river, though, but the Pain Clear caught out. The silence lasting long enough so K1 can get in with their eye clicks.
Margo? You gonna be alright? Looks like he will be. He really took a ton of damage from that Poison Nova, but he kited amazingly well just to bring the fight away from the Terrorblade, allow him to just sit there and just absolutely rain out the damage in that team fight.
No buybacks here.
I mean, even on Vitali, right? He bought back previously. I thought this might be the big difference here if he was able to get into the Aghanim Scepter, really start to seal off a few of these team fights, but it's not all that helpful if you're just trying to defend onto the high ground. It's more about when you're out on the map, trying to influence that, take the perfect team fight, but Beast Coast just had the perfect team fight.
And it seems like it might be the case through a lot of this game now. Beast Coast have a lot. Their supports and their heroes with the abilities to be able to play in these 5v5s, kind of the team fighting prowess from them, if you compare it to the Alliance, is something that might continue to be an issue now.
You talk about that Scythe of Vice as well. He's picked it up on Dark Margo, and you have to consider he's got that plus the Refresher available. Double onto the Morphling. He's going into more damage with the Shadow Blade and the Silver Edge. Does he need a Linken's? Oh, that's a big kill.
Sorry, Lincoln's on Dark Margo, is that what you're asking?
No, on Lumiere.
On
just
Lumiere?
To not get blown up. Because like you were saying before, the Aghanim shard on the Morphling might be great against stuns, but Hex, Sheepstick, is a stun and a mute and a silence and everything, so you can't actually get the attribute shift off if your initiation is perfect.
You could go greedy and ask the Illicore to go like Ag Shard, just so
He's
if
already
they...
got a Lotus, so yeah, I don't even think that's greedy. I think that's just what a Rubik should do most of the time, to be honest.
Sorry, when I mean greedy, as in like, so Morphling doesn't have to go Lincoln, so you can kind of go for like a different item, have the support, you know, do classic support things and allow the cores just to... Oh, Sacred? Let's put the BKB to star. They'll trade Rolling Thunder for this. No one else is near the Timber. They'll get the bash as well before he enters the Spinner Snare, but the Global Silence now, can they have any follow-up with this? It's going to provide enough control to bring down Analog, but Sacred's unable to escape, however. Dark Margo tries to find the opening, but again, K1, he's turning to the left side instead, so they're not going to have the damage to be able to deal with Lumiere. They're trying to deal with the supporting cask instead as K1. He'll kill off the Venomenter. Another Arena and the Hex from Dark Margo means that Lumiere, he's in trouble. They'll pin him up and bring him down.
Man, I was just absolutely manhandled in that fight by Dark Margo. I thought Margo was like off on his own, a little bit too far away from the team, the damage not there to take him down, but that is a long amount of lockdown. 7 seconds on the Scythe of Vice when you refresh it. He got double spear landing in as well, talented into. It's just a crazy amount of lockdown that they were able to provide onto that Morphling.
It's looking like a very scary position for Alliance. They're being down 2 full sets of barracks, and Roche is going to go up in 20 seconds as well. They won't have the Morphling to contest it.
I wonder what they end up getting from it as well, if it's going to be the Refresher or the Aghanim. Honestly, both of them pretty damn value for this team. Double, triple Arena, triple Hex, double Global Silence, double Echo Slam, you know, Aghanim Scepter for the Terrorblade. It's all great.
Just watching that back and just, like you said, seeing Lumiere completely get manhandled. Nothing he could do. Back live, we see Alliance looking to try and reoccupy their jungle. Oh, what a fissure! What a fissure holds him in. Schofield now can follow up as well with the Echo Slam. K1, can he get the damage out fast enough? Analog Rolling Thunder out to safety. Dark Margo still got another... Oh, that was actually Theo Lacour's Arena to help them escape.
Well, they're going to have the outnumber here unless they go the full-on retreat, although Gardic, nice 4-stars.
Okay, that's a lot forced out there.
Yeah,
if they can...
He forced the Shaker all the way back to base as well.
Getting chunked down from K1, the Chakram as well, able to help secure with a kill, but this could be an opening. A lot of the ultimates were expended from Beast Coast. They need to try and escape it. Hang on, Sacred, he wants to jump in. Maybe seeing an opening to try and bring down Gardic and cover the retreat for the rest of the team. He can chain up to the high ground. BKB is going to soon expire. K1's going to look to try and help enter the fight, but there's nothing that Terrorblade can do to protect the Timber Source of Alliance. To find a big kill onto Sacred, who does have a buyback if they want to try and prevent this Roche from getting claimed.
Surprised that they didn't actually look to commit in onto this, at least try and force out the buyback, and it's going to be Analog.
He's been able to find the Painkiller. Can they be able to bring him down? The Hex for the chain control, and K1, you bet they can. He's got the Metamorphosis at the ready. No hesitation out of the buyback though from Analog. He's going to look to try and rejoin the fight. Onto the southern side though, Lumiere can't bring down any of their members, trying to close the distance on the Stinger. The Global Silence going to be used to help them find the Rubik off the right side as well. So Theolicore, a dieback out of him. Alliance, the fight's been spread too thin. They completely split to be able to protect Analog, who just bought back and will be sent packing for another time. The Alliance cannot catch a break.
Oh, Schofield's chasing.
Looking to try and scurry away.
Shadowblade. Ooh. Gotta be careful.
They're just going for the M. Sacred in the base. K1 as well. They know that both the Rubik and the Painkiller just died back. I don't think there's going to be any defense coming out from Alliance.
Well, they got the Refresher on the Morphling. He's trying to be as greedy as possible, but that's not going to work too well if it's a 2v5 situation. 2v4, excuse me. But, I mean, East Coast, they feel about as strong as 5 heroes.
One more. Let's see what they can do, but they're way too far ahead. And also, with not enough members to be able to defend the tower. Lumia's going to make him work for it. Trying to bring down K1. He's fallen pretty low, but does get the Sunder off at the last second. double turn to pump in the damage. Schofield as well for good measure. Drops
Fitting.
the Echo Slam. Like you said, it is only fitting for him to be able to end that game with the Echo, considering he was a big reason of why they were put in this winning position.
I mean, it's that's a masterclass Earthshaker performance, to be honest. I really liked Stinger's play as well. I feel like he got out of the laning stage in a really good spot, able to secure those kills onto the Broodmother as soon as the Oracle left the lane. And even just in that very last fight, he had the Morphling on a string, which is not what you should be expecting. He had a 4-staff and the Ogre Seal Totem for sure, but this is a level 25, 26 Morphling that should be able to just pop you. And it made him waste so much time while the rest of Alliance was just dying around him.
Yeah, those were some messy last fights, and like you said, it just came off the back of kind of the kiting out of Beast Coast there, where you weren't able to get those initial pickoffs from Alliance, and all of a sudden you're completely split. And with all the multiple refreshers and all the stuns they could work with, because Schofield was never caught out, it felt like the draft spoke about it, we spoke about it a little bit as well, like this Venomancer being able to counter the Blink initiators out of the Mars and the Earthshaker, but we really didn't see that come into fruition at all.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like they needed a little bit more, I don't want to say map control, but you just needed to set up some kind of vision. I didn't think we saw at all the spiders be fanned out across the map, you know, just to give that complete control, to know exactly where you can look to play and maybe get the backstab on the team fight. It really felt like almost every single time it was Beast Coast, the ones with the initiative.
Yeah, so we saw how Beast Coast were able to kind of reset themselves. Was looking like it might be another repeat. They had a much better early game, though, which was really the big thing. We saw in Game 1, Alliance just completely steamrolled them and gave them no opportunity to find a way back in, but this game was not the case. And we get that Game 3 that we were hoping for as well, Danog.
I mean, anytime I see Beast Coast and Alliance, Exocori, but we know they're damn good teams, and I just want to watch good Dota. So I'm excited. Game 3, it's got a lot on the line, that's for sure.
Yeah, that it does. An important series, of course. Beast Coast looking to try and continue their flawless run so far in Tour 1, and for Alliance, really their hopes of potentially qualifying is at stake here. So we'll see what we have in store for us after the break.